Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another video regarding 13 Ghosts, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite horror movies, mostly because of the lore. Today we are going to be making a tier list of the ghosts from the movie 13 Ghosts. And this is based on least to most dangerous. Now, the bottom tier is a kind soul. This is for a ghost that is kind or sweet or gentle. We know which ghost is going here if you've seen the movie. The next category is called creeped out. They're kind of useless. They can't even cause harm, but they are very creepy nonetheless. The next category that's a little bit worse is called cross the street. If I saw them walking on the street, I would probably cross the street to avoid them, but I wouldn't necessarily run away from them. The next category is run away. They will try to end me, so I will run away from them for sure. And the last category is say your prayers. These are by far the most dangerous, and they probably will kill you. The moment you run into them, that's probably going to be it for you. You've just met your demise, so all you can do is say your prayers. So, starting off strong, here we have the juggernaut, and this is definitely in the say your prayers category. He is incredibly dangerous. He might have the highest body count out of everybody on this list. Yeah, he ended a lot of people when he was alive. I think it was more than 40 people, and he added a lot more since he's been dead. Very brutal. He tears people apart limb from limb with his bare hands. Very, very dangerous. Avoid at all costs. Next is the hammer. Now, the hammer is extremely dangerous. He looks extremely scary. He's very brutal. He also has a chain with a boulder on the end of it, which is also unsettling. He is very violent, and he uses brute force as well. He also is in the say your prayers category. Both highly dangerous right there. Next is the dire mother. Now, on her own, she doesn't have any weapons. She's not strong. She's very small. She's very petite. She's creepy, but I mean, that's all we can really say about her. I would be creeped out if I saw her, but I mean, what is she really gonna do? The next one is Harold, aka the Great Child. I'm gonna put him in the runaway category. Now, these two up here were very violent. They will immediately go after you. When somebody ran into him in the movie, he was just standing there for several moments. Plus, I don't know how strong he is without his mother like controlling him. I don't know how strong he would be on his own without his mother accompanying him. And yeah, when he saw somebody, he just kind of stood there menacingly before we presume he would attack, because he does have that axe with him. So I would definitely run away from him. Next is the pilgrimess. I'm putting her in the creeped out category. Her hands are bound. She can chase you, but I mean, she can't do anything to you. Her hands are bound. She's in the stocks perpetually, forever. So she can't really do anything to you. Very creepy though. Next we have the withered lover, aka Jean. She's definitely going in the kind soul. She's very sweet even in her afterlife. She even tried to warn her son from entering into the basement where the other malignant spirits were residing. So she actually tried to save people from being ended by other ghosts. So she definitely is a kind soul. Next is the Torn Prince. I'm putting him in the runaway category. Now, the reason he's not in the say your prayers, even though he is more aggressive than Harold, is I think it's because he did attack in the movie. He was attacking Dennis Rathkin in the movie, but even though his hits connected with Dennis, he hit Dennis I think at least once or twice right in his face with a baseball bat. And right after that, I don't even think Dennis was bleeding or really injured much at all. He was able to continue on even after being hit multiple times by this boy's bat. So for that reason, because his I don't know if he could even fatally hit somebody, kill somebody. Maybe if he hit them enough times, but it's clear you can get hit by this being, by this spirit multiple times and still walk away relatively unscathed. So I'm going to put him in the runaway category, but he's at the top of the run away from him category because he is very aggressive. Next is the Angry Princess. We're putting her right here. She too, she does wield a weapon that absolutely can hurt you. She was much less aggressive than the Torn Prince. She did have the intent to harm, but she moved so slowly that you could easily just run away from her. So we're putting her in the runaway category. Next is the Bound Woman, and she is just creepy. She's just in the creepy category. Her hands are tied behind her back. She can't really do anything. She's just very creepy. Torso, again, creepy. Just very creepy, but he is maybe in a worse position than anyone else because he's literally in pieces. I don't know what really he could do. You know, he ran straight into a human and he couldn't do anything to them. We could say the same thing for the Bound Woman. Pretty much just totally kind of useless, but very, very creepy. Next, we have the Firstborn Son, putting him in the cross the street category. He does wield a small hatchet, a small weapon. In the movie, Dennis and Maggie were able to kind of skirt past him, just kind of very cautiously, you know. So it's like he probably could cause harm because he seems very mischievous, but he does not seem outright bloodthirsty or so eager to harm like everyone in the categories above him. So he should be avoided, but I wouldn't run for my life. He's just more of like I would cross the street to avoid him. I would avoid him, but I'm not, no, I let him live his life. I'll just avoid him. I just won't walk too close to him, but I'm not gonna run away from him if I can help it. And the last one, last but certainly not least, is the Jackal. I'm gonna put the Jackal above the Juggernaut, although he's very, I feel like he's kind of tied for being like bloodthirsty, but the Jackal to me is just, actually, this might be a hot take. I'm actually gonna put the Jackal behind the Juggernaut, and for a good reason. In the movie, the Juggernaut, well, and according to his lore, he just would kill anybody. And we saw in the movie, you know, he was just very dangerous. The Jackal, however, when he first came across Kathy and her father, Arthur, he, if I recall, he ignored Arthur and just went straight for Kathy because that's who he prefers. He prefers female victims. So if I was with a female, there'd be a chance I could survive if he went after the female. And I don't feel like the Juggernaut would really be picky about who he goes after or attacks or kills. I feel like he would just go after whoever was nearest to him, which makes him more dangerous than the Jackal, who may have a certain preference for victim. Although they're both, I mean, I'm sure if no one else was around, well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the Jackal did go after Arthur later on. I might, but the Juggernaut is so much stronger than the Jackal. There's so much, they're really neck and neck, honestly, for just dangerous. I'm gonna go with the Jackal as number one, only because he just strikes me as being much more psychotic and much more unhinged than the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut is extremely dangerous, extremely scary, but the Jackal is just on his own level of just being just absolutely psychotic. Like, he's just totally insane, utterly insane. So I'm pretty confident this is my rankings of the Ghost from the least dangerous at the bottom to the most dangerous at the top. So the most dangerous would be the Jackal, Juggernaut, Hammer, then the Torn Prince, the Angry Princess, and the Great Child, then the Firstborn Son, then the Dire Mother, whose hands are not tied. Then the pilgrimess, whose hands are tied. Bound woman, whose hands are tied. Torso, who is in pieces. And then the one kind spirit. So yeah, that is my tier list ranking of the 13 ghosts from weakest to strongest, from least dangerous to most dangerous. So thank you so much for watching. If you like, drop a like. If you agree with my video, let me know down below, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.